Okay, so here we have a rainbow stripe through the shirt and off the sleeve, and this is a fairly simple accordion fold with a crumple on either side. So again, the accordion fold, you'll define your stripe and then fold it, and again I like to go a little bit uneven, and that'll give me this kind of patterning instead of just a straight line. I like to vary it a little bit. So for expediency's sake, I'm not going to rubber band all of these. We'll just, so you would band your stripe and then scrunch up the top and bottom and band those. And same colors when you're dyeing, same colors front and back. Okay, now there are a lot of different patterns we can do with a simple stripe based on the method of folding. So I'll go through a couple of those. Here's another V pattern that's a centerfold. Now the difference with this particular V is that instead of having an identical pattern front and back, this one has a stripe across the shoulder in the back. And to achieve that, we want symmetry in the front of the shirt. So in order to get that, we're going to turn the shirt inside out. So that these two sides, the two sides of the front, are facing, they're against each other. So the dye penetration is going to be most even on that line, and you'll see what I mean there in a minute. So instead of folding the whole shirt in half, I'm going to take the center and pull it up and lay it sideways. Then, because I want my sleeves to match, I'm going to take one sleeve and insert it inside the other sleeve. And I'm going to match up the seams and pull it out. Now I'm ready to do my accordion fold. So I want to come from here, and I'll kind of pivot around there so I get the bottom, and then fold along this line. This piece right here is the back of the shirt. So that just gets crumpled right in on top here, and then match up the sleeve. So this gets banded there. Your stripe goes on in here. Just apply your dye like you do for any other stripe. The bottom and the top get crumpled, and that will give you a V that comes up off the shoulders with a stripe across the back. I'm going to show you another one. It's not quite as well defined, but it's the same idea. The back's a little bit more defined on this. This was a black and blue crumple. Again, the V comes from the bottom up through the sleeves, and there's a stripe across the back. Okay. All right, on to the yoke. Okay, this is a simple rainbow yoke. And the easiest way to do this shirt is to just define your pattern. And you can use a pencil or just draw an imaginary line. And then follow it with the accordion fold. Band it. Crumple the top and bottom. Okay, I think we have one more stripe pattern to look at. Yeah. And this is fairly self-explanatory. It's just a stripe across the top with a crumple on the bottom. Two ways you can do it. If you want symmetry in your front, you can fold it face to face. Accordion fold the top, crumple the bottom. That gives you the potential for symmetrical patterns, mirror image patterns on the front. If you want random, like this is a random pattern shirt. This was folded, accordion folded straight across the top like this. And then crumpled on the bottom. All right, we're going to fold and tie a rainbow V. And this is not the V that's on the front and back. This will be the V that comes down the sleeves. And on the back, there will be a line across the shoulders. So the first thing we're going to do with this shirt is turn it inside out. And we want the front facing up. Find the center of the collar. Find the center of the bottom. Fold the shirt so that the seams match, and then gather the back and insert one sleeve into the other with the seams matching. Make sure you're lined up so that you're in the center of the shirt. Okay, now you're going to imagine your V running down to a point about 4 or 5 inches from the bottom. And if I want my V to be 5 or 6 inches wide, that's where I'm going to start. I'll pivot around it to get the bottom end the right length. And then accordion fold up the shirt. The back gets folded into itself. Now you have a lot of fabric there, and then the sleeves get folded straight across like that. Okay, we're going to band it. This banding doesn't have to be super tight. All we're doing is holding things in place for the stripe. Okay. And then because we folded it inside out, the front of the shirt is against itself. Meaning the two front sides are facing right now. So that's going to give us a mirror image and symmetry when we fold, when we do a crumple on the bottom side of the shirt. So just Scrunch that up. And then again, if this is fairly tight, you'll get more definition, more white in your pattern, more contrast. Normally when I do these, I do a single color on the bottom. I have done them using two colors, front and back, similar to the black back, but you always run the risk of getting things really muddied up that way. So I found it looks better to do just the single color, but you know, it's something to play with. And because we have so much fabric right up in here, it's better to do a single color on that, because you're not going to get a good pattern out of it if you try to do a contrast on it. Okay, so when we dye this, again, we're going to do a rainbow. And I think we'll use blue on the top. So. And I'm going to go blue, yellow. So there's my green. And this one I'm going to finish off so it'll be blue top and bottom with a rainbow stripe in the center. Now, the area where the sleeve is right here, I'm going to dye a little bit more heavily because I want definition in that stripe across the back, and there's a lot of fabric in there. So we want to make sure that dye penetrates. If you're a little bit uneven in your color matching front and back, that'll give you that kind of two-colored feathering stripe. So, you know, you don't want to be too exact when you put your colors on. You want to kind of overlap them a little bit on your front and back so that you get that striping. It just adds a little bit of variety to it. So what's happening when you put the dyes on, there's still water in the shirt, and the dye is driving that water in the center, and it's the water in the center that's holding a spot that makes the white pattern.